Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
And it's my opportunity now to welcome to the program the Mayor of the Kapiti Coast District Council, K.Gurunathan. Guru, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, John, and good morning, listeners.
Lovely to talk to you, Guru. What a gorgeous day it is. And I must say, we've had a few good days recently, don't you think? It's been a good run on the coast.
It has been really good. It's slight cold snap, I thought, on Saturday.
Yes.
Kite Festival, but all in all, it's been really brilliant. Yesterday was really brilliant for them.
Fantastic. And I was thinking about Toot Sweet that we got to support late in the piece. Of course, the council supported earlier in the piece. That was the Boutique Music Festival. And they're talking about doing more. The promotion company behind that are talking about doing more up on the coast. And I certainly hope that comes about. Well,
I hope so too, because I think we can do with more and more of this type of events. But, you know, it's not an easy thing to organize.
No.
It's the weather situation, traffic congestion, like, Costello, what happened to them. There are challenges. But I'm really confident that, these people had a successful entry into this area. And so I'm looking forward to them coming back and doing other things.
That's right. We've got movies in the park coming up as well. That'll be fun. I think it's Toy Story 4 involved in that, which is quite a recent Toy Story. So that was good. And in fact, speaking of Toot Sweet, of course, the really successful night was the Friday night when they ran the Cars movie on the set of the music festival. It was a free family event supported by the council. Thank you for that.
So that's really good. And so it's just building the summertime families going out and have a great time, part of the coastal culture.
That's right, and creating memories as well. And something really exciting. I mean, I've been excited as soon as I heard about this from Tony and the rest of the people behind the Kapiti Arts Performing Centre, and that's getting really close now, isn't it?
It is. This is a fantastic partnership. We know that we had an council had long-term plans for a performing arts centre, but if we went by our own budget as to when it will happen, it will take another 15 years, I think, before it will happen.
That's right.
So when Kapiti College came to us during Jenny Rowan's time, I think we were all quite happy to support it, because if we can work with the community, particularly Kapiti College, and deliver outcomes much earlier, why not? So I think for 1.6 million of ratepayers' money, we have got a building which is more than $10 million investment, state of the art.
Indeed.
And I think it is going to attract not only regional performances but national performances.
Yes.
Puts us on the map, really.
Yes, I was astonished when I heard the ballet company coming, the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra company. I just didn't realise that it was on that scale. And, of course, we'll all see. I think it's the 1st of March, the open day. Yeah. And we're really looking forward to that. You've got to congratulate Tony Kane, Cass Carter, Jeannie Guthrie, people like that who've made all of this possible.
Absolutely. And I think the public support for it has been fantastic. And the other thing, of course, is the opening will be also preceded by the arrival of a group from Taranaki, the Iwi from they're coming, because they've got very strong links with the Taranaki. So a group of Tohungas will be coming to bless the ground.
Well, that's wonderful, isn't it?
The cultural backup for that is going to be quite fascinating.
While we're talking about the cultural background, and you've been very much associated with the various the immigrant populations that are enriching our community. As this coronavirus panic begins to spread around the world and dominates the headlines, I'm beginning to worry about literally xenophobia, that some of the immigrant populations may begin to suffer a bit. And of course we've seen this as an unfortunate trend in many parts of the world, even without coronavirus or any such excuse. Have you heard of any problems in terms of the racial problem? Sorry.
Yeah, I've heard anecdotal references.
Yes.
And just public reactions to this. It needs to be stamped down really fast. And in fact, in my Waitangi Day speech, one of the things I said is that the Manatitanga, the welcoming culture that we have here for new citizenship ceremonies and stuff, is underpinned by Maori culture. And I'd love to see a stronger Maori reaction to any form of such racism to our migrant cultures. I think if I hear, in my mind I have this scenario, a white supremacist tells a new Chinese citizen to go back where they came from. And one of our tangata whenua steps up and says, why don't you go back to where you come from first?
So have you heard of that, or was that just a hypothetical in your mind?
It's just a hypothetical situation
Right.
to highlight the fact that if there's any cultural understanding of this phenomena, I think the Maori culture of Manakitanga welcoming them is paramount. And this is Aotearoa, New Zealand, and they have welcomed all sorts of people from different wakas. And this type of discrimination is actually, we cannot tolerate it.
Absolutely. And what's more, we need the migrant populations. This is an economic and statistical fact.
That's
So
right.
this is where we are, and, I'm pleased that you haven't heard of any specific examples. That's good. Something that we've got to talk about is a conference coming up on the 8th of March, Tukutai Kapiti, Climate Change and Our Coast. And this is something, obviously, it's an aspect of our life, the coastal life. I mean, it's literally part of our name, the Kapiti Coast, isn't it? So a very important conference coming up. What are your plans for that?
Well, I mean, this is to open up. I mean, we've always talked about sea level rise and coastal erosion and inundation. But the climate change threat is much wider than that. It involves increased flooding, increased rainfall, and also the solutions that we are looking at does not involve just the coastal beachfront properties, because this is a ratepayers issue. When you build a seawall, it's district-wide rating that supports it. So we need a buy-in from all the ratepayers and the whole community. So that's the approach we've taken. The summit has captures the wider climate change issues, but it's specific also to the coastal erosion and inundation.
I'm sure you're aware of a statement put out last week by Coastal Ratepayers United, which of course emerged out of the, let's face it, the debacle that was the district plan, and I don't want to canvass those issues too much at the moment, but they bring up the fact that they apparently were consulted about the format of this summit, and they thought everything was going very well. And then the speakers was sort of presented to them, and they believe that the speakers have been chosen by KCDC without consulting ourselves and other community groups. Do you think your council has got a problem with proper consultation?
No, I think the consultation has been really good. They've been involved from the beginning, and also for them to consider someone like Professor James Renwick, as an activist, I think it's laughable.
Well, it certainly is. He's a world-renowned expert, isn't he? And a local. He's got skin in the game, and we've had him on the radio. He's a man who's contributed to the international documents, the IPCC documents, and so he's certainly his credentials surely are beyond question.
I'm intrigued by the term activist. I mean, what do they mean by that? And also the details of what they want done and stuff like that will unfold in the panel stage. When the panel has been selected, and then there's engagement on the details of what needs to be done. And so this is a very complex area, and it's going to take many, many months and probably a couple of more years for this to unfold in terms of solutions.
It's a long-running saw, this one, isn't it? Because the coastal hazard provisions were withdrawn in July of 2014, which is far too long, isn't it?
That's right, because we had gone through a court process, and unfortunately, I think due to the haste of trying to get the district plan bedded in, the previous councils had not been working well to accommodate this, because the climate change and the coastal erosion thing is a long-term issue that we need to sit down together, and the approach is a community-led approach. And I'm looking forward to how this unfolds.
Do you think it's also an evolving issue? In other words, there's more information that's coming to light that has to be considered.
The science that underpins it is a key factor, and there's a role for central government in terms of even the planning format, and the science has got to be a balance between nationally accepted benchmarks with customized local variations. So achieving that balance is critical, but there is a role for central government in this, because planning is, if we don't do this now through legislation and planning, cases will go before the court, and you end up the court deciding what's the way forward. We don't want that. We need the proper planning to be projected and solutions being created.
So is this climate change in our coast summit, is it going to be a public summit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have the first day, which is sort of the keynote speakers, and then they have community involvement in a whole range of activities after that.
Okay, well, we look forward to that, 8th of March. Guru, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Thank you. There we are, the Mayor of the Kapiti Coast now.
106.3 Beach FM.